chapter of our story here is our mentoring program. This is something that I've been working on for, as I said, many, many years. When I entered into Maple Leaf 6 years ago, there was a mentoring program, and to this day there is at each campus, but it is something that really caters to the individual campus and is left up to the school-based leadership. So something that I've been working on with my colleagues this year is a system-wide mentoring program, something to establish common ground for new staff upon arrival, so that no matter which campus they're allocated to, they can have similar expectations upon arrival. And as I said, this is something that we're still working on. Due to the COVID pandemic this year, we were waylaid a little bit from our rollout, but this is something I'd like to speak on. It's what I personally do at my campus and what I know many other principals have taken, something that our Dalian campus has maintained since I used to work there as well. And the key part of this is trying to continually reflect and build and grow our mentoring program based on the input of our first year teachers. And this is where the most valuable information comes from. Starting a new program like this and simply just deciding as a principal what I feel is important is largely irrelevant, because I got here 6 years ago and everything changes on a yearly basis. And you can see there at the bottom, that's a younger me from 6 years ago with our mentoring team in Dalian, which kind of birthed this entire process. So the goals of mentoring and induction here at Maple Leaf, I've got some photos of my own campus and my own staff there as well. Took a second to just show off my team. The main goal is to ensure that new arrivals have a smooth transition to life in China. And this is really, really important. We want to make sure that teachers, when they arrive, do not feel lost, do not feel left on their own, and do not feel like they're having a difficult time to transition. And a lot of this comes from the help of school-based leadership, our department leaders, and even down to our secretaries who act as translators for staff in a large majority of situations. The idea is to provide as much support as possible to incoming teachers, not only with work, but also with social life, with adapting to a new culture, getting to find places where they can explore their interests in the city, and building the culture among our new arriving staff. Some of the things that make Maple Leaf stand out is our dedicated staff mentors. So when you arrive in China, there is dedicated people who are assigned to you, who are meant to be your go-to person. This could be the leadership team, this could be the department heads, this could be individual teachers, depending on the campus. At Zhenjiang campus, we will have China Life and academic mentors. So each incoming teacher will have 2 people to go to, one specifically for academic concerns, and the other is a person geared to them for China Life and for social aspects. How I personally do this is largely through personality surveys in the summer. So having new staff fill in a quick optional survey to get to know who they are, and then trying to pair them with the right person set on campus, so that when they arrive, there's a person, almost like an instant friend, the second you arrive. And as I said, the consistent feedback from new teachers is something very important to us as well. So for those of you that choose to sign on with Maple Leaf and come and experience a first year, expect your principals to sit down with you and ask you, what could have been done better? What was done well? What should we work on next year? And this is something that our mentorship committee sits down and looks at. And we'd welcome you to join the mentorship committee as well upon arrival. The committee that I've built at my current campus it's small and growing, but it's with dedicated people who truly have a desire to ease the process of first year teachers, because we all went through it. Some common induction practices. These are things that you can largely expect across all campuses. And like I said earlier, small disclaimer, I'm speaking for Zhenjiang campus when I get into some specifics, but for the system as a whole, some common practices are things that we spoke of earlier, such as being picked up at the airport, the orientation week, the Pro-D week, the social and team building activities. These are all system-wide scheduled practices that happen in our induction program. Also, the welcome messages and ongoing communication pre-arrival. All of our systems principals are expected to and very good at communicating with staff. The second a contract is offered, I send out a message to speak on Zoom with people. And each principal has their own way, but that communication is very important to us. And as we saw from our earlier poll, it's important to you guys as well. So that is well understood. Mentor programs will vary at each campus. As I said, when I used to work in Dalian, we had the personality matching and China Life and academic mentors. And this is something I brought to Zhenjiang as well, and something we hope to roll out on a system level at the end of this year, moving into next year. The Office 365 and SharePoint database and access, that is standard across the system. It's something that you receive access to right away, and you can communicate with the school-based leadership on guidance of where to go, what to look at. And it is very, very, very helpful. Our curriculum writer team has spent a lot of time building resources and scope and sequence plans and things that you can go on to get a look at what you will be teaching, what is the content, what are the activities, what are some ideas. Extremely helpful information. And the hands-on acclimation assistance is something that we're proud of as well. If you really need anything, we're there for you. We have our secretary team acting as translators. We have the General Affairs Office to assist with school-based issues in your classroom and things like this, and your principals and mentorship teams to help you get adjusted to life and society. Many of our campuses also work with, we call them Friends of Maple Leaf. And in my city, there's a fella named Jim. He's a really nice guy, doesn't work for Maple Leaf, but for a small fee of about 500 RMB a year, 100 Canadian dollars, he also assists with translating services, finding apartments, and many aspects of daily life that teachers often struggle with. So what's most important to know is that all the supports are there, and it's something we take very seriously. And this brings us to our final Q&A session. So once again, please raise your hands if you'd like to ask me any questions. I'd be more than happy.